Have you ever heard stories that make your blood run cold? Stories that may seem like myths, but what you will hear today is not fiction, but a terrifying truth that many do not dare to believe. Today, we will travel together into the depths of two terrifying stories that took place in places haunted by evil spirits. In a small, remote town, there lived a girl named Jessie. An innocent, shy girl. She was bullied at school because of her stuttering. The students made fun of her every day, and she didn't have the courage to respond to them. Over time, Jessie became more isolated, and her heart filled with sadness. One day, one of the bullies came with a devilish suggestion. If you want us to stop making fun of you, you have to enter the haunted cemetery in the middle of the night, alone. The cemetery was known among the townspeople for mysterious sounds heard from it at night and images of shadows moving between the graves. Despite her extreme fear, Jessie agreed to this challenge. On a full moon night, the students gathered in front of the cold gate of the cemetery, and the fog surrounded the place, which increased the horror of the atmosphere. Jessie trembled but advanced, while everyone watched her with mocking laughter. As she entered the cemetery, every step she took made a frightening sound on the wet ground. Shadows seemed to move around her, and unfamiliar whispers, a comprehensible sound, filled the air. Then suddenly, Jessie screamed at the top of her lungs. The students ran away, leaving her alone. That dark night, Jessie's voice disappeared deep into the cemetery, as if the darkness had swallowed her. The next morning, when she did not return home, her family went out looking for her everywhere. When they arrived at the cemetery, they were shocked. Jessie's body was found lifeless among the graves, her eyes wide open, as if she had witnessed something indescribable. The police could not explain the cause of her death, but locals said that she might have encountered an evil spirit guarding the cemetery. Since that day, no one dared to enter that cemetery at night. Now we move on to another story, which took place in an abandoned house in a distant village. There was a family of 5 who moved into this new house. On their first night, while they were having dinner, the doorbell suddenly rang. The eldest daughter went to open the door, but found no one. However, she noticed something strange. A girl in a black, blood-stained robe was standing at the bottom of the stairs leading to the basement, looking at her with a terrifying smile. A muffled scream sounds in the background. The girl tried to ignore it, but she couldn't sleep that night. The next day, she saw the same ghost again, and this time it was closer. She told her mother what she saw, but her mother didn't believe her. Things started to get out of hand when the ghost started appearing in every corner of the house, not only for the eldest daughter, but for the rest of the family as well. One night, the mother woke up to the sound of her daughter screaming. She rushed to her room to find her lifeless body without a head and her hand pointing to the ceiling. The ceiling was filled with mysterious drawings, as if they were messages from another world. The father began to investigate the history of the house, only to discover that it had been owned by a man who practiced black magic, who was killed by the jinn when he tried to repent and stop his evil deeds. In the end, the family had only one option: to flee the house, leaving everything behind them. These stories may seem like mere fiction, but remember, the world is full of secrets that only God knows. Maybe somewhere in a deserted corner of this world, there are stories waiting for someone to dare to reveal them. If you liked these stories and want to hear more, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell. Write to us in the comments. Do you think these stories are real or just myths? And what would you do if you encountered a ghost in the dark?